Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. We are joining you this week on a Friday night, which, okay, normally it's Friday night, but it has been quite a week for for most of us. I think most of us are in the U.S., and it has been our election cycle, and oh, I am so glad to be at the end of it all. And so, I'm just gonna throw out a little bit of a toast to everyone for getting through it. Here's to getting through the election cycle. Yay. And so, this is a good time to toast those who have shown up, because I know that Machiavellic is here, and I am so sorry that Walmart is screwing you over on The Mandalorian. So a toast to Machiavellic, a toast to Joy, a toast to Kyoji, a toast to Michael Spicer. Great to see you, Mr. Spicer. A toast to Connie Field. She says Pinky's out. Okay, how's that? Is that better? Pinky's out. So I've got some flag in my face. Colini is here. Good to see you, Colini. Thank you.
For drinking, I just took the flag out.
Don't let it touch the ground. Be respectful.
Hey, you do not need to tell me how to be respectful of the flag. He's a Boy Scout, for damn sake.
So there we go. And so let's see. I will set the flag aside, since I'm not sure it's respectful for it to be hitting me in the face.
I don't think a flag up your nose is it was never covered.
And let's see. And Nathan Fillion. Good to see you, Mr. Fillion. My fruit is slipping.
It's just better to put it alive.
There. So a toast to everyone. Thank you for joining us on a Friday night. And also a toast to Monica. And a toast to Retrobot. Thank you, Retrobot. And, of course, a toast to Dawn for coming up here and joining us for this live stream. My lifelong friend, Dawn, who has been putting up with me for a very, very long time. And God bless him. So, thank you, Mr. Dawn, for...
Although, admittedly, most people don't... I think it really goes the other way around a lot of times.
You know, I think it depends on who you ask.
It might be,
I think it depends on who you ask.
Now, do remember that both of us did thank God for putting up with us.
We did.
That was a history project?
We did a history project, and at the end... this was a performance piece.
Total performance piece.
And at the end, we thanked the teacher, we thanked the class.
We did a full-on credit roll, because it had, it listed all of our sources, it listed where we got the stuff, so we thanked people, and so it became a theme,
And we thanked our teacher for putting up with us, our parents for putting up with us, and God for putting up with us.
We also thanked Kermit the Frog, because
it's not easy being green.
We thanked my van, because
it's not easy being green. So, his van was green, in case you didn't pick that up from context. So we are here tonight to talk about a Transformers toy and related characters.
Well,
yeah.
I was gonna. So you said so we're force feeding, we're feeding Retrobot, right? So
we are not feeding him that way.
What? That's adorable, Retrobot. I thank you.
Okay. Opposite sides of the room. Okay, put that away. Put that away. You do.
What?
Ironhide does not belong on a plunger.
This is Energon Ironhide.
Okay, you're right. It's anyway. What do I have stuff?
Yeah, you got drink on your face.
A
better friend would have told you, but you have me.
That's true.
Oh, by the way,
true.
I can't see the. You covered over the chat, and I can't fix it.
There you go.
Thank
we
you.
got the chat. So today we are going to talk about a character that I did not have in my collection, but you did, and now I do because you did.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about Reflector. Quite possibly the most unique combiner of all the Transformers toys. So let's take a look. This is Reflector and the many, many offshoots of that concept. Some are not inspired by Reflector, but they've all got kind of a camera motif going on. Except for Scrapnel here, he's an Insecticon. But he came packaged with a small version of Reflector. So we've got transforming robot toys that turn into cameras. Because...
why not?
But why not? Yes, thank you. We've got...
And Scrapnel there, he was my favorite Insecticon. And so it was kind of nice that he came with Reflector. Because I thought Reflector was interesting. Now, admittedly, we'll get into the toy and,
Yes, so, and Amanda is here. A toast to Amanda. Yeah, we got some Commodore 64 Batman music. The walk cycle was really weird for that game. Does anybody remember that? Colini, I know you remember that game. Where his walk cycle kind of made him look like he was,
The camera does not do justice for you doing that. And it is... Now, I mean, we both played the hell out of that game.
Well, we couldn't beat the Joker. We didn't... Okay, and I do remember you telling me maybe you have to beat the crap out of him. And I was like, no, I remember in the Penguin one, I would beat the crap out of the Penguin and it didn't do anything. Well, so they trained us wrong, okay? This was not like a Mario game where they teach you how to play the game as you go. They had inconsistencies.
And so what I also think is interesting is I mentioned to Clay that there is a Transformers connection to him and that video game. Because, so I bought the Commodore 64 Batman the Crusader video game for him for his birthday. Well, me being me, I wrapped it by putting it inside the Pretender Jazz box to my Pretender Jazz. Well, that's gonna look obvious. You can see it through the window. So I used the plastic container, crushed it up so that the game fit, and then made a little cardboard cutout of the Pretender shell and the Pretender robot and stuck them in the window. And of course,
I didn't even notice.
He didn't notice, and I used a smiley "Have a nice day" face for its face.
And I would like to say that Dawn did a really, really nice job of making the jazz cutout, but it really wasn't. It was. I mean, it wasn't supposed to. It wasn't like.
It wasn't supposed to fool you. It was supposed to be. That's hideous. I mean, it's supposed to
and I didn't even notice. Oh, Tim Kangaroo is here. A toast to Tim Kangaroo. Thank you for showing up, Tim Kangaroo. It is good to see you. So anyway, so we figured that we would kind of tie. I know you don't actually care, but nonetheless, it was cool for us. We care, and you know what? We care, so we share.
Because sharing is caring.
To care is to share.
To share is to care.
So, yeah, who remembers that episode? So, anyway, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of these, because we got a whole bunch of camera-themed robots here, and I'm gonna kind of move some of them out of the way so that we can focus on what's important. Let's move. Well, they're all important, but I want you to be able to see what we're talking about. So let me move Refractor out of the way, and we will move Photron.
Photron!
Or Photron. I keep calling him Phototron, but it's Photron.
Photron! Protector of the Fujifilm?
Protector of the Fujiverse?
Fujiverse?
I
I didn't put a lot of thought into that, obviously.
You know what? I'm going to say Protector of the Fujiverse because
Sure,
I feel like Fujiverse is just funny.
It sounds like a bad MCU ripoff. It's the Fujiverse.
And there we go, and there we go, and here you can put your hand down, Spectro. There we go. See, I remembered his name that time, and there
that
we
one's Spyglass.
The red one was...
The red one's Spyglass.
What? No, top down, viewfinder, Spyglass, and Spectro.
Yeah, well, the one I don't know. The other one I said that has it the other way.
Huh. Okay. I could have sworn that you said. Are you sure you didn't write those down?
I could have. I mean, nobody really. Nobody remembers their individual names.
That's because they're individual. Oh, Tie Guy is here. Hey, a toast to Tie Guy. The outside of my glass has fruit juice on it, and it's just a little bit sticky and also pleasantly fruity. So we got that. So anyway, so this is let's just go ahead and go through a little bit of history with these guys, because back in 1984, when you would buy a Transformers toy,
now here's the thing though, it wasn't in this guy wasn't available for mail-in 84. He wasn't... Right.
But you did have these robot points. So this is Ratchet's original instruction booklet. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that's some nice instructions that we've got there for Ratchet. Good old Ratchet. And
person's here, by the way.
And oh, we got Christopher Remley. A toast to Christopher Remley. Howdy, Chris. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. So anyway, and also there were these robot points which were on the back of the boxes, and you could cut them out, and then you would be able to send away for certain Transformers offers. And I know that I have one of those catalogs somewhere in my home for Reflector, but I couldn't find it for this live stream. So I would love to show it. Maybe we'll put it on Instagram when we find it. That would be cool. So Reflector, you couldn't find him in a store. They made him available after the fact through mail-in, and Don sent away and got Reflector. And that...
Pretty much outside of the watch, and when the mail-in came out for me, I did not know outside of the Space Jet Power Dasher, which was on another one of your live streams, that there were other Power Dashers. I got the really cruddy faced
you
Jet
know what?
One, but...
They didn't let anybody know. They said they only showed one picture,
and that was the one I got. I thought it was that one,
and it said you may get something else. It had verbiage that said, your Power Dasher may be a different model than the one depicted, but there was no way to choose. So
as a kid, I assumed that's what it was. So I got outside of the watch, I got all. I mean, what you now have all the Omnibots, got them all.
Mm-hmm. Which means I've got them all. Because thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. A toast to Don for giving me his toys.
I guess in retrospect, I suppose I should say, you're welcome. It's another inside joke. You won't get it.
Yeah. So
You know, we never played the game long enough to actually get that they did the 60s Batman thing in it, you know?
That's because
the darn thing
every time you go to the
reset
utility
music.
belt, it resets the music. So anyway, so we've got Reflector here, and so in the original toy version of Reflector, unlike how he was depicted on the show, there were 3 individual robots, and they each had names. And depending on who you believe, Transformers Wiki or Don and his note taking, this was this was Viewfinder.
Yeah.
And this was Spyglass, and this was Spectro, and so they would be.
Well, here we go. Well, let's see.
Oh wait, yeah, Kyoji's gonna correct us.
Oh wait, no. Nope. It's right now he isn't. And so that he handed off the robot points so that a few of his cousins could get reflected.
Ah, okay. Yeah, a toast to Kyoji. Says Spyglass is the blue one and Spectro is the red one, so we got it right.
Okay, it's just that we got a lag here. I don't see it on my feed.
Monica's seeing it, so that's what's important. So Spectro is the red one. So yes, we got it right. See, we know our stuff. And,
but I didn't get them right there.
So these would be 3 distinctive robots that merge together into one alt mode, and they don't transform. Here, let's. You can hold Spectro, and I'll hold Spyglass. And the thing is that they don't put him in your mouth. He's not yours anymore. So.
Well, I know. Do we want to talk about the tragedy yet, or shall we wait?
Which tragedy?
Well, the fact that this guy's holding a gun and that guy isn't.
We'll get there.
Cheeky Boy's here.
Oh, and Cheeky Boy is here.
That's yours.
A toast to Cheeky Boy. Thank you for coming. So, these guys individually don't have an alt mode. Okay, if I turn this guy and I maneuver his parts, he turns sort of into a box.
He's a late Mysterion.
He's a late Mysterion. Because they turned into geometric shapes.
Mine clicks.
Mine doesn't click, but you know what mine does? It can have a camera head.
Not if I steal it. I do.
Yeah, but then it doesn't click. So I can have mine can turn into a third of a camera, and yours can turn into a third of a camera, and then you have Viewfinder here, and this is the robot that the character model for the cartoon was based off of. So when you saw on the cartoon that they all looked like, essentially these guys, then, that was their design for essentially this guy, and they made them all the same. Now this guy has a neat weapon that you can kind of take the front lens and pop it on here, and so that's kind of a feature. And then Spectro has this gun, and I did something. I didn't know that I was doing it when I did it, but you see, when I had to fix, I got Destroyer here. And Destroyer, when we got him off of eBay, he only had 1 tread, he had some broken pieces in the body, and he had no cannon barrel. And so I found in my parts bin this gun that I thought looked, vaguely military and, at least a little bit less space-agey than some of the other gun things that I had. And I thought, that kind of looks like maybe sort of like a weapon box or something like that. And so I put that here. That's
tanks don't have the weapon box.
I know that, but it's a fictitious tank. I was just going for an effect here. So
an effect of I don't know what the hell a tank is.
I know what a tank is, but you look through my parts bin and find a better tank barrel for this guy.
I wouldn't use the gun from the toy you were given for loving care.
I didn't know. I thought it was just an extra random gun. So anyway, this is one of Reflector's guns, and it's no longer one of Reflector's guns. So now.
And it's part of a GoBot. I mean,
GoBots are awesome, okay, and Super GoBots are especially awesome, and. You know what? He already has 3 guns because he can hold this like a gun, and I keep holding things over here because normally the camera is over there, but it's now over here to get both of us. So I'm sorry, I keep holding things like off to the side. Anyway, so he's still got three guns that can be held by guys. And so, you know what? I think that Reflector is happy to help a renegade GoBot so that he'll have a good functioning weapon. I think that that's important. No, and Reflector is a straight-up guy.
Reflector does not give 2 craps about GoBots. He's going to look down on them. He's a Decepticon. I mean, he's a camera. He is going to look down on them.
And Destroyer is going to be greatly appreciative of Reflector's generous donation to his war effort of his and nose. Reflector gave him a nose job. It does not Starscream. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, so, like he cares.
Okay, so anyway, so we have the viewfinder here, and I always thought that it was kind of weird that as a group they have a name, Reflector, but I guess that since they are kind of a combiner, then that's the name of the camera when they're combined.
Well, I suspect, I mean, it goes probably back to some of the Japanese packaging and whatever, because, you look at, like, the Constructicons were just construction robo, like the whole thing.
Right.
So,
well,
admittedly, they got in a
the Japanese. Thank you for that. That was important.
I'm glad you found. I've been meaning to mention to you that you needed to find that sound effect because
wasn't it
awesome.
Kyoji that originally asked us for that to make sure that we got that?
So I made Clay watch the. There's a YouTube video about like the whole Diaclone thing, and well, of course, this is funny because this is not Diaclone. This is not.
This is microchange.
This is microchange.
These guys together like
the
that.
bulk was Diaclone.
The bulk was Diaclone, and then there was microchange, and then every now and then there were a couple other outliers. And so this is definitively Reflector. Okay, this is his camera mode. They are together. They are Reflector. So this is now. I know that we're used to thinking of combiners as guys that get together into this big ultimate robot fighting machine that's usually dumb but powerful. These guys get together to form a camera. And in the Transformers story arc, it's a bizarre concept. But nonetheless, we accept it because that's the way it's always been. And here, let me put it on the other camera.
I thought I'd respond to Machiavellic there that because he says he might point out that this is not bad comedy. Yes, unlike Starscream, who in the movie did bad comedy. We here at Retrobot do not do bad comedy.
I'm not sure if I can back that claim up.
This is bad comedy.
No,
sorry, Leonard Nimoy. A toast to Leonard Nimoy. We will miss you. All right, so sticky glass. So here we go. This is the combined mode, and as Transformer cameras go, it actually looks pretty good. Yeah, you got a little bit. I mean, they're old toys. The legs are a little bit floppy, so they kind of want to come forward. But now from the back, it is definitely 3 guys folded up. But you have a viewfinder that works. So wait a minute here. Let me go to.
And where would you find that viewfinder? It's on viewfinder.
It's on viewfinder. Is that funny?
No, it's not.
Okay,
and that's why it is.
Okay, well, so here let's see if you can see. There we go. There. So we've got a working. There it is. There it is. Hi. Wait here. Yeah. There. So the viewfinder sort of works, and getting it to line up with anything. Okay, I can't make the camera focus in on anything, but nonetheless. There we go. Oh, thank you. You made it not sticky. So we have a viewfinder that works. We have a little clicker button, which is very satisfying. The Flash actually had a missile that you could insert into it, and of course for the American toys it doesn't fire, which is a shame. But yeah, so you could be like, yeah, give me sexy, okay? Pout for me, okay? Fall in love with the camera.
Oh wait, pout? You mean do Orion Pax lips?
No, okay, don't do Orion Pax. Give me RC. Hey, click there. Okay, so his head stopped clicking for a second there.
Well, it is a old toy.
It is an old toy. So
we're old men, so
we're old men, and I've got a camera combiner that's made up of 3 little robots. So that's the original Reflector. And so as odd as this toy is, and the way that you got him was, the interpretation for the cartoon was very, very different. Like I said earlier, they just kind of based the model of all 3 robots off of just the design of the center guy, and then for the 2 other guys, they were depicted as being pretty much the same, except without the shutter thing, the lens thing in the chest.
Well, and what's interesting is the whole reason that that happened was because they weren't sure they were going to roll it out. So it wasn't supposed to be in the show, but it didn't make it to the animators, so he got introduced, and that always bothered me when I was a kid to some degree. Even though I got him, well, he doesn't look anything like what I saw on the show.
Right, and then there's that whole 3 names thing, and they just called him Reflector in the show.
Well, and Joy is mentioning that she specifically remembers that the robot toy was an authentic. Well, yeah, it came from the Diaclone line, or not the Diaclone, the
okay, so so Joy says, I specifically remember a robot toy that was an authentic 110 camera.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I don't remember that. We need to do you want to do an internet search? Wait, I can do
the keyboards
keyboards. Okay, so let's just go ahead and see if we can find this.
Oh, you don't have the camera anymore to show me pretending
110 camera robot toy. So let's just see if we can find. I bet it was this. Joy, is this your guy? Because he kind of looks like Voltron.
It totally is Voltron. Only
okay.
as a camera.
Wait a minute here. So yeah, there's a Voltron
Star Shooter camera, vintage.
Huh. Okay.
Is it showing on the screen?
It is. So I don't know if that's what you remember, but But yeah, I didn't realize that.
Honestly, this is kind of a neat little thing since you've got Photron.
That's true. That's true. We do have Photron, and that was Voltron, except as a camera. Okay, so anyway, so
she says it definitely looks like it.
Oh, okay, so we found the one that Joy got. Okay, you know what? That's awesome. Joy, you have taught us something about robot toy cameras. So, a toast to Joy. I love the Commodore 64 Batman theme.
Oh,
I love it.
I mean, we would just let it play.
We would just let it play because we were nerds, and that was a good time for us.
I mean, you think about it's like what 8-bit sound, if that. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, it would be 8-bit. Yeah, but see, the Commodore 64 had three sound voices that were programmable, which was a lot. A lot of computers back then had one.
Well, don't forget, it had the Hearsay 1000.
Well, I bought the Hearsay 1000, and it allowed my computer to talk, which was very cool in 1986.
Especially when you're doing those text-based adventure games.
Yes. You find yourself in a field. The field is covered with grass.
My favorite is you type in "scream" and what is it to say?
All right, So yeah, we spent probably too much time on the Commodore 64, but you know what? I still love my Commodore 64. That's it's like one of my first loves. Like next to Transformers, it was Transformers, Batman, and Commodore 64. That was pretty much it. So Christopher Remley says it literally says Voltron on it when it's a camera. Just in case you didn't know, because the different colored lion heads.
I feel that this will become even more appropriate later in the live stream.
All those GoBots things that said GoBots on them. Yeah, it's the same kind of marketing philosophy, and you would have thought that Voltron would have known better, but they didn't. So anyway, on the cartoon, Reflector was represented as three guys that were essentially three bodies with one shared mind, and they were all Reflector. And then, especially because there were a lot more Autobots than there were Decepticons, they oftentimes had to fill in the background so that it looked like there were more Decepticons than just 11. So I'm trying.
Oh, no.
So I don't want to get too chummy here. So they would then. That's unnecessary. So they would then copy, you'd see like gray looking Seekers in the background, and you'd see copies of Reflector in different sizes.
Oh yeah, there was one scene we were looking at today where there was like 11 in a line. There's just a whole bloody line of them.
And I guess retroactively they said those were followers of Reflector called Photons.
But yeah, they were photons. For a minute, I thought they were Photrons, but that's that thing. They were photons.
We'll get to Photron.
We'll get to
Phototron. that doesn't even make sense. And the one film canister. So I'm gonna, before we go further with that, I'm going to show another camera toy that came out around the same time. I would say that this was probably 1983 or 84. Select Converters.
That predates 83, 84 will predate the American release of Reflector.
Right. So this is Focus. He is a Select Converters, and you would have seen him on my other guy's live stream. And he is another camera bot, but he's one robot that turns into a camera. Crazy concept. I love this guy. And I had this guy. This was the camera robot that I had, and when I had him in my collection, I called him Reflector. I just said, hey, this is him, and there's only one, and he does his thing. So that is Focus, and we're going to turn him into his camera mode so that you can see that. And we're just going to flip up the arms, tuck in the hands. We're going to twist the feet and then fold them up at the sideways knee joints, because sideways knee joints are important. And then just fold up the legs along the side. And at this point, he's looking pretty much like a camera. That's pretty close. But then you also have this piece, which you put on the front, and then just like with Reflector, it's hard to get the arms to stay together, but just like with Reflector, we have a viewfinder. Which, hello, there's my finger. You can see it through the viewfinder. And we have a little button. The button doesn't click like it does with Reflector. But yeah, so that is Focus. And that's a nice little camera. That is I really like this camera design. For one thing, there are no faces showing. He's got that going for him. And granted, he's little. His hands aren't hands. They're little rectangles. But for just a little tiny bot, and also somebody that some of the larger Transformers would be able to sort of hold, and it would look like they're holding a huge camera, but not completely obscene. It would be a camera that's about the size of a cathode ray tube television, but they could at least hold it up and pretend that they were using it, because he was much smaller, whereas Reflector was intended more as a role play toy.
Well, again, Reflector came from the Micro Change, which that was
their shtick.
That's Megatron. That's Soundwave. That would be Blaster later.
Right.
Which Blaster in the was actually a working tape deck.
Radio.
A radio.
Just a radio.
Working radio. And that it was a camera you could hold, you could role play with.
Right. So and that was the shtick. So that just harkens back to the origins of the toy, whereas this one is not really a realistic camera, but not bad. I mean, really not bad. So I'm a big fan of Focus here. He also has a film winder lever, so you can do that and click a picture and then do the little thing. So he is a really cool little guy. Didn't you say that your mom had a really tiny camera about the size of Focus? And she did. She probably still has it somewhere, and she said that she got it at Kennywood. But it's a SLR camera, except it took small film, like a special film that she could never find. So after, you could get the film for that camera at the amusement park, but she was never able to replace it. And these things, I mean, it was made just like the larger version with all the little metal parts, and it very intricate. It's a really cool thing, and it was about this big. It was a little bit fatter because it would take a roll of film, but yeah. So that's true. I guess he could be a novelty mini camera, something like that.
Isn't he already a novelty mini camera? I mean, he's a camera that's a toy, which makes it a novelty, and it's mini.
Sure.
Just saying.
Okay. Yes, but not a novelty mini working camera. He's not a working camera.
It's not. Well, no.
How many words do I need to put in here?
I don't know. It depends on how many I feel like making fun of.
Okay,
so could be a while.
So, Reflector was prominently shown in the first season of Transformers, And then probably around season 2, he was kind of phased out.
Well, they started to get a lot more characters. And don't forget, season 2, the later episodes were the film company that just loved Devastator.
That's true.
And I mean,
so
you can't have a competing combiner, even though one forms a camera and Devastator.
You're right. You know, they could get into a combiner fight, and I feel like one of them would have had a distinct disadvantage.
Yeah, and that was Devastator because he's dumb as a brick.
That's true. And Reflector didn't lose his intelligence when he turned into a camera.
No.
His only disadvantage was that he turned into a camera. But once you get past that, I mean, Reflector, he had it. So you didn't see really a lot of toys or anything for a very, very long time, but that doesn't mean that we didn't get more camera toys out of the Transformers world. Around 2007, the Transformers had a Real Gear Robots line that was loosely based off of the events of the movie, you know, that movie that dumbass guy made. And the idea behind these characters was there's that scene in that movie where they drop the Allspark, and whenever they bump into something, it turns it into a living machine, and it turns steering wheels into face huggers and 7-Up machines into...
it was Mountain Dew.
Oh, a Mountain Dew machine into an instrument of death.
It's a Mountain Dew machine. Of course it's an instrument of death. I mean, you do enough dew, you will...
You know, I feel like it should have been Super Hyper. Either that, or it should have been playing a lot of video games. So...
Shut up, Grandma!
So, thank you for that. So anyway, we actually got 2 cameras out of that line. The first one...
you got one. The other one, we refused to acknowledge it exists because Monica didn't believe it existed, therefore it didn't.
It did exist.
No, it doesn't. It's a figment of your overactive imagination, much like me, which, you know, your imagination is very damn sexy because, you know...
You know what? I'm gonna slide myself off frame here. I am suddenly uncomfortable.
Well, no, here's the thing.
So, Ty Guy says that he liked those movies. I don't understand.
Well, here's the thing. I can see somewhat. The first movie was,
I like the human characters.
The human characters in the first one were awesome.
Like, Shia LaBeouf is a national treasure. And I'm not even being sarcastic.
Just do it!
Just do it!
Nothing is impossible!
Nothing!
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Thank you, Shia LaBeouf.
Something is impossible, and that's getting an actual super decent representation of our childhood's versions of the Transformers as a live-action movie.
Just do it!
You gotta have all those caveats.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion, even opinions that when you state them, I don't understand those words when you put them in that order.
We rather enjoyed ourselves when we went to see the third one. Now, admittedly, Chris knows he kept getting drunker and drunker because we kept telling him what we were going to do, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I need another beer for this." But it wasn't.
It was bad. It was just bad.
The plot wasn't overly bad, and some of the my biggest criticism was Shia LaBeouf's character is just Michael Bay screaming at you that people don't like your movies, and I'm acting it out through this character.
Yeah, but that wasn't Shia LaBeouf's fault.
Well, again, that was just my real criticism of the movie. Overall, I didn't think it was I liked it much better than the second. I felt the second was...
the second was a turd sandwich. But enough about... Hey, you know what, Ty Guy? You're allowed to like the movies, and I'm not going to hold it against you. I just don't understand. So, we've got this guy here. His name is like Spy Shot 6, I think. Spy Shot 6. I don't know why it's Spy Shot 6.
Because 1 through 5 were very horrible.
I guess 1 through 5 just weren't that good. But he's an interesting looking guy. His face kind of reminds me of Rung. For those who are familiar with the character from the IDW comics that recently got a Minicon scale toy, he reminds me a lot of Rung. With the really round eyes. He's got a nice little lens looking thing. Now there's no like pass through here. You don't see anything. It just looks like a lens, but you don't see anything through it. And then we've got some knee joints and some elbow joints, and now he's got some clampy hands. So you can see the clampy hands, and they do spread. If I can get them, there we go. And you got the clampy hands there. So he's not a bad little figure, he really hasn't received any attention in comics or in TV or anything like that. But he's not a bad figure.
I thought both these guys did make minor appearances in one of the reasons you may not remember. It's the part of the Unicron trilogy stuff. They had like small shots of them like once or twice, and I don't know if they ever got a.
I think the answer is obvious.
If this guy appeared in one of the cartoons, I don't remember it. It wasn't part of any of the Unicron trilogy.
It wasn't? I thought for sure.
Now, granted, it does have a picture on the back of one of the. Here, let's go to this camera. Well, actually, I don't know who that is, but. The other one has a picture that is of one of the Cybertron characters, one of the ones from the Speed Planet, because apparently everything on the Cybertron. No, Starscream, it does not make you the new leader. How does that even make sense?
It was totally Starscream there.
So anyway, we got this guy, and he turns into a camera. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's just do the thing. Oh, Hope is here. A toast to Hope. Welcome, Hope. We love to see you here, and you can see my toys.
And we're saying hello back because she's stopping in to say hello.
So hello, Hope. So all right, so this guy, he's gonna do some stuff. He's gonna turn into stuff. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to fold in the elbows like that, and they kind of do that thing. And this one is already in oh, well, we don't want to fold it like that. We want to do that. So there we go. And then we are going to, let's see. This guy does he does stuff. His arms are going to rotate around this way. His whole body just kind of rotates. And let's see if we can make this happen. There we go. Oh. Am I rotating him the wrong way? I might be rotating him the wrong way.
Well, he hasn't fallen apart yet, so...
Well, I can keep trying.
Well, I did say yet.
So, there we go. So, we're going to rotate the arm that way, and then we're going to kind of push the head into the little cavity where the Flash is. Not the superhero, the literal Flash. And then we have this part, and it just kind of folds in like that. And I love the way this guy transforms, by the way. Just how each piece in sequence wraps around the body. That's just brilliant. It's very cool.
I must say, it's a very interesting transform dynamic choice, given there were simpler ways. There were simpler ways.
Oh yeah, there were far simpler ways that you could make a box. We're gonna fold in the foot just like that, and then we're gonna fold that up, and boom. That is probably one of the most interesting methods for turning a robot into a rectangle that I have seen in the Transformers universe.
It is a rectangle, but also since you want this to be the body,
right, which is off-center,
which does present some design challenges, although most probably would solve it by...
Yeah, that's what they would do. They would just turn it sideways.
Not that I am criticizing not doing that choice. I am totally saying that I appreciate...
He does have a little viewfinder on top, so it's... The plastic is not very clear, so while you can get light to shine through it, you can't really see what you're looking at through it. But I appreciate that it's there, and it also has a clicking button. The little controls on the back don't really do anything, but they're a different color and they're tactile, and you've got these little buttons here that don't press, but they look like they press. You've also got a switch here that doesn't really move, but again, the details that they put in here, let's go ahead and show it on the side camera. The details that they put in there are very, very nice and very accurate to a real pocket digital camera from this time, and I think that's pretty cool because I remember cameras like these. These were that brief weird period when digital cameras weren't on everybody's phone, but they didn't need film anymore, and they didn't have discs in them. It was a weird time. So let's see. Kyoji says, the only camera-like character I recall from the Unicron trilogy was Laserbeak, the video camera bird, who, despite being named associated with the Decepticons, was an Autobot. I remember that toy.
Well, I guess it could be something I was reading and misremembering what they were trying to say. And it could maybe just be about the stupid pictures.
But
and why you'd use pictures from the Unicron trilogy if this toy wasn't tied in at all. I thought they tried to tie it in somehow.
I don't think they did. Now, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the comics that were for the movie were, because there were comics that were done at that time to support the movie series. I never collected any of them because I just wasn't interested in the movie universe. But a lot of because there were a ton of toys made during that time under the movie banner that never actually appeared in the movie, but some of them were based off of vehicles that you saw in the movie, or background scenes, or they were just completely original characters,
characters that were supposed to be in the movie but didn't make it.
Right. And so in a lot of the comic books, they would tell stories to showcase those characters that didn't make it onto the big screen.
Because merch.
Because merch. And so, this is a cool little camera guy. I'm Spy Shot 6. I feel like he could just be Spy Shot. He could just be. Christopher Remley says, digital cameras like that were exploding in the early 2000s. And I remember, they were cool and they were cute. And I actually, this is a weird thing. I had a Samsung flip phone that did not have a camera built into it, but you could buy a digital camera accessory that would plug into the phone so that when you would take the picture, it would automatically download it onto the phone so that you could see it on the little LCD screen. So
these were exploding in the early 2000s, he was saying? Were they made by Galaxy?
Samsung Galaxy, yes.
Yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me they were exploding then, because
they were the Samsung Galaxy Camera S8.
You do get that that's a
I
joke.
do.
Okay.
I do. Because the phone's batteries were exploding.
Yeah.
I got that reference. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're... You know what? A Toast to Dawn. That was good. That was good. And a toast to Christopher Remley for a blast from the past about digital cameras. Oh, that music is so intense. And then it quiets out. Yeah, you know, it kind of backs off a little. Okay, so that was one of the Real Gear robots. Here's the other one. And this is Zoom Out X25. Once again, going with the numbers in the names thing. And also, these guys didn't have fists. There seems to be a running theme of these guys having some kind of claw hands. His claws don't open, so you just have to deal with it. I really like the body design of this guy. He's got some dynamic proportions. I love that he's got the big shoulders that come from him being a video camera instead of just a regular digital camera, and he kind of looks grumpy. You know, he looks like he kind of looks like all of us did leading into this election cycle. He's in a permanent state of election malaise, but nonetheless, he's a neat guy, and I don't know, I just like him. He's got sort of a locust thing going on his back with this panel here and these little wing things. So yeah, I imagine him being able to fly and just being in general kind of a grumpy dude. I believe that he was a Decepticon, but he doesn't really have emblems. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm noticing about these Real Gear guys. They don't seem to have emblems. So his face looks like Transmetal's Dinobot.
Yeah,
you know what? It does look like Transmetal's.
The clone one.
Yeah, and it's the X.
Yeah.
It's the Borg eye implant.
He's Locutus of Transformers.
He is Locutus of Prime. So
and that might have been a better name than whatever 25.
Then Zoom Out X25. I mean, honestly, Hasbro? What were you guys thinking?
They were trying to outdo GoBots for stupid ass names.
GoBots were gone. Well, actually, by that point, GoBots were theirs.
Well, that's what I mean. So we own GoBots. We have to prove that we could do something worse than they did, and it was names.
GoBots were cool.
Yeah, but they were bad on names. They were bad.
They were bad on names. They were bad.
So Clay, can you tell me? They have somebody who is going. The GoBots have somebody in the Guardians that is totally leaking enemy or info to the enemy. They have a traitor in their midst. Who can you tell me who might have been the traitor?
I have no idea who would have been the GoBot double agent. It couldn't have been a guy named Traitor.
I still to this day remember the episode where they literally turned to him and say, "We can't figure out who this guy is. Can you give us any answers, Traitor?" I'm like, wow.
I mean, my parents named me Jeffrey Clayton. They didn't name me Punch Me in the Face in kindergarten. Okay? That's something that I earned through living. Okay? You don't okay, so anyway, we've got Zoom Out, which I'm just going to call him Zoom Out. He's Zoom Out, maybe from the clan of X25. I don't know. But he's a cool guy. He's got a cool transform. Let's go ahead and show it. And I'm going to do it on the side camera so everybody can see what's going on here. So we've got the front panel that opens like this. and we're just going to rotate the head assembly down just like that. And then we can lift that up, and we're going to take the arms, and we're gonna. I'm trying to remember what these things do. They do a thing.
They hold things and grab things. They're arms. That's what arms do. I thought you know biology
in general, but okay. So I think they just go straight down, and then the leg collapses around it. I'm trying to see if maybe does this need to rotate around? It might need to rotate around. Ah, yes, it needs to rotate around. So we've got that little triangular bit that needs to face into the hip, and then we rotate the leg sideways, and then we collapse the leg against the side and just cover that all up. And then we take this panel and we wrap it around and close it against there. We close these little wing things, and now we have a digital video camera, which is really neat. And once again, we have a working viewfinder. Hello, that you can see my fingers a little bit. It's not very. Let me see if I can. Okay, so yeah, you can't really see what you're looking at. This one works better than the other one. Okay, you can sort of see a little bit of my finger through there. Of course, the buttons are just molded in. There's nothing clicky, but it's a nice design, and I like. I like the colors. Okay, he does have a Decepticon logo. We found a Decepticon logo. And then we've got this Cybertron character here. So he is forever videotaping. Let's just say that's one of the videos that's on here, and we're watching.
This guy is definitely not energon deficient. I mean, he's still got a full battery charge.
Yeah, look at that. So
and he's been filming for at least almost 8 minutes.
Yes, yeah, so that's pretty good. And then, of course, it folds down just like a real one would. I would have loved it had they put one of those films on there with the corrugated plastic, and then you had the ability to put in different sleeves that would have like motion things, sort of like that. Those things were really big for a while, and they've kind of disappeared. That guy is named Override Lenticular Lenses. Okay, so yeah, that's something that you don't see a whole lot of, which is a shame because it's kind of a cool effect. But I feel like during the Secret Wars era, it just kind of got used to death, and then that was. I think Secret Wars killed it. I actually, so
yeah, you were basically you were channeling your wife's thoughts on that.
So, oh yeah, you could do raps on it. Yeah,
you do the ratchet strap.
I'm afraid that I don't know the theme song to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or I would do it right now.
So I suppose in honor of you being both on the same wavelength, I got gifts.
You got gifts.
Yes. So
are they animated GIFs?
No, they're not.
See what I did there?
That was almost and see, so I can give gifts better than Retrobot.
Thank you. This
and
is
it's for Monica too. I probably want to show what you got, Monica. So.
Okay, so let's show this on the side camera, because we got to show gifts. Thank you, Dawn.
You're quite welcome.
So Dawn is giving me kisses. Everybody on the internet knows that Dawn is now giving me kisses.
Oh, you want me to give you?
No, I really do not.
And, that's adorable, Retrobot.
And so
but
we've
no,
got
he
My
doesn't
Little.
Want me to give him a kiss.
We got My Little Pony and Transformers, and so here I will give this to you. Yeah, pass that to Monica. I'm gonna go ahead and I wonder if I can just slide this off. Can I slide? Can I? It seems like there's some stickiness in there. Okay, it is not sliding. Oh wait, there's tape. There's tape. So, can I get... Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, we will just...
Packaging 2.
There we go.
Clay 1.
And there we go. So, All right, so there we go, and we will open up. We've got we've got some Hershey's Kisses, and we got a little Starscream, a tiny little Starscream. Okay, now see, what's funny is, and we will also show we've got a little Fluttershy.
That makes me the new leader.
How? How does that make you the new leader, Starscream?
Totally. He is totally the new leader of the Decepticons. He's gonna hold up his little badge and it's gonna go ting.
I've got a thing that says that it's a choking hazard. Let's go ahead and now see. All right, now I'm just gonna point out that there's those things that are on the market that say, you know, world's smallest Transformers, and they're just the little figures. They don't transform, and they're not as small as the actual transforming ones. And now I've got one of these that's even smaller than those, so I'm just gonna call bullpucky on the whole smallest, because they're not by any definition. But that's a really good Starscream mold. I mean, he looks buff. That's like leader Starscream, I think, and he
that's because he's the new leader.
I guess that makes me the new leader.
It does not. You know what? You're right, Starscream. You're the new leader.
Our clever leader doesn't know what it does.
Well, okay. Thank you for that. I'm just gonna put Starscream right here, and he can hang out on my head. And thank you, Dawn. That is really cool. And would you like a Hershey's Kiss? Because I can give you a kiss back.
Yeah, chocolate sugar. Yeah,
oh, okay. I'm sorry. I won't do that.
I gotta. I'll have broccoli instead.
Health. So there we go.
Oh,
and you know what? It tastes
what,
terrible.
Where?
It tastes terrible. Just so
what
you don't have to
collection
feel
of the
bad.
ponies were there? I thought we'd show that too. Because we're having a discussion. You can collect 5. So the question is Applejack the one that gets the shaft? Because there's 6 main ponies, but you can only collect 5.
Let's find out. Let's find out.
It doesn't say.
No, you have to open it.
Oh,
So-
it didn't look like it opened.
Okay, so... Oh, look at that. Who's missing? We got Rainbow Dash, Twilight Sparkle, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rarity. Oh. And, you know, that's a bunch of bull crap, because Applejack is my favorite pony. All right, she is honest, she is hardworking, she doesn't need any special magic or anything, just guts and determination.
Well, here's the problem.
So,
she's a conservative, so it's a bias against her. Yeah, it's totally crap, I know.
Oh, hell no.
No, we're not going there.
I know.
We're not going there.
I know.
So-
I know. The only thing I could come up with.
Now,
Why
you know,
people don't like Applejack, which is bullshit, but, or Pucky, sorry.
I've said worse.
So have I.
So yeah, that is Zoom Out, and he's a cool guy.
25.
X25, because he's 25 times more extreme.
And like your child's underwear, in case you didn't know, we printed it on him. You know, the whole thing, your mother has to write your name in the underwear. My mother never did that, but that was always been a trope.
My mother never did that either. But you know what? Now I do it, so that I guess that makes it okay. I don't really write my name in my underwear. Just so that you know. So fast forward a little bit, we have Transformers Generations. I believe it was Thrilling 30. Scrapnel. Not Shrapnel, because they lost the rights to that. So his name is now Scrapnel. And he is, of course, the Insecticon But we're not looking at him. You know, that's not why we're here. We are here because he was packaged with a Minicon partner, Reflector. This is the first Reflector that has been done since Gen 1. And it is done loosely based off of the cartoon likeness. And he has a gun mode, which is kind of like this. So, you know, which that's kind of cool.
It is honestly a little reminiscent of Scrapnel's original gun.
It is. You're absolutely right.
If you actually, if you turn the arms backwards.
So you turn the arms this way?
Yeah, turn them back. Now,
because we can do it that way too.
Because that is how, if you remember, I mean, I can go get his original gun. The end had that weird round thing in the point.
Right.
You know,
right.
the extra things that went around the edges there.
So that, you know, that's the gun mode, and honestly, most of the Target Master featured Minicon partners, the gun modes are not very good. This one I like a lot more than most. You know, it's interesting, and it has a little bit more going on than most of them. Now, granted, there's a little bit of robot face down there, but
well, and I think another reason why in the directions actually I believe show the arms going forward, but I like that better because it is more closer to his original gun, you know.
But here's the other thing that you can do, which is what I think makes this figure awesome. Is here, let's put that back up like that, and then we will put it this way and rotate the arms around here and rotate the arms around here and take this handle, flip it backwards like that, and now we can, because he has a kind of an open hand here, we can put that right there, and boom.
They're both in the box.
So
I saw them.
So there we go. He is able to hold him, and he transforms into a camera. And that is pretty cool. It's got this telescopic lens thing, but it does look like a camera. In so much as what you'd expect from a little Minicon version. So I really like that. And that's the kind of thing that, most of you who have been seeing me rant on these live streams for a long time will recognize that I've been calling for them to create accessories for the Transformers that aren't just guns, shields, and swords for quite a long time. And a Minicon partner that turns into a camera is excellent. That's awesome. Let's keep it going. So yeah, that is pretty cool. And okay, so that here let's go ahead.
Monica fishing for it since I'd seen both your version and my version. That's mine because that one has the paint.
Yes.
Mostly left.
At least most of the paint. So here we'll show these on the camera. There we go. So this is the Gen 1 shrapnel gun, and you can see, there is definitely some similarities there.
I mean, I feel that there's, a nice homage, and
I would say that the design intent is pretty obvious. They were kind of recreating this gun with this gun mode. So, I like that. So very, very cool. And then
here's the original.
And then we've got the original that's not doing too bad. He could use a little clean. He's got some dust on him, but
and he's got tar in him.
Yeah, I think I told that story.
Yeah, it's that door's come apart. Wow.
Yeah. So nonetheless.
Oh yeah. Their good Insecticons are all in the box.
Yes. The reissue ones that we got. So that's I think that's Thrilling 30 Generations Reflector, and let me get him in focus. And he's just a cute little dude. There's not a whole lot going on here. You can move the arms, and that's about it. But it was a nice homage. Now, why he is partnered with Scrapnel, I don't know that they hung out. Why Scrapnel would have a camera?
See, Scrapnel was the guy who created the Insecticon clones. And Reflector split into 3 identical clone-like robots.
That's as good a reason as any. And
right there.
You know what? There you go. Okay, I'll give you that. So, yeah, that is Thrilling 30's Reflector. And so, fast forward to 2019, Transformers War for Cybertron Seige comes out. And this is where Hasbro, Starscream, leave me alone. Starscream's trying to eat my head. So Hasbro finally does something that essentially I've been telling them to do stuff like this for a long time, and that is to shamelessly convince me to buy multiple versions of the exact same toy. Like, not even repaints, just buy the same toy over and over again. And that is where we get Refractor. Here we go. This is Transformers War for Cybertron Seige Refractor, and here he is. And you'll see I've got 3 of them, but these are all the same guy. You know, if I take one away and put him back here, this is the same guy. If I take him away and put him up here, then that's still the same guy. It is these are not like 3 guys that are similar. These are exactly the same toy that I bought 3 times at roughly a $20 price point for each one. Now, if you only have one, if you're not a sucker like me and you only bought one of them, then you got a guy that looks like the cartoon likeness from the Gen 1 toy. And he does have a vehicle mode. So, and Mason Fur is here. A toast to Mason Fur. I fumbled my glass a little bit, and it was clean, and then I got it sticky again. So, I don't know why. I can't handle these frou-frou glasses. They're frou-frou. They're tall and skinny, and they have long sticks on the bottom with wide circles. These glasses are hard. I don't know how to work them. So
you hold. See, hold.
I'm putting my pinky out. Look, I've got my pinky out. Are you well? I don't have to change it. Okay, well. So now I've got a Megatron glass.
Yes.
Although this just makes me want to chug this. Yeah, it's like I want to quaff this.
Well, I could maybe next time I'm down, I'll have to bring my Hofbräuhaus 1-liter mug.
Ooh, yeah. You will leave happy that night, I guarantee. So if you have Refractor, because once again they've lost the rights to call him Reflector, so now his name is Refractor. As far as I'm concerned, he's also Reflector, just like Scrapnel is still shrapnel. You know, we know who we're talking about. You can print whatever you want on the box, but we know what their name is.
He's telling us that he needs to teach us how to drink champagne, and you don't need to teach me how to drink champagne, because you know what? I don't like it. I think champagne is a waste. Personal opinion, but then again, it's Ty Guy I'm disagreeing with, so we disagree on other options. So, you know, and
poor Ty Guy. Poor Ty Guy.
I'm not dumping on him. I'm saying we disagree on things. We're allowed to disagree. I think he's a great. I mean, I remember when he was at the PonyCon in the outfit. He's a great guy, but we still disagree with things.
Okay, yeah, and you know what?
I am by no means down on
Ty
him.
Guy. That outfit was dope. And I just said dope. So, you know, that's like the first time I've ever even tried that phrase. So, a toast to Ty Guy, because he's way cooler than Don realizes.
I am not dumping on him. I'm just saying we disagree with things. And we're allowed to, people are allowed to disagree.
So,
but I'm being civil about
it. And I appreciate that. So, let's go ahead and let's show Refractor in his transform if you just have one. So the way that this works is you have the head here. You're gonna turn around the head and you're gonna flip it into the body, just like that. And then you're going to flip out these little landing gear pieces, and you're actually going to rotate the legs and flip these out again a little bit further. And so now you rotate the legs around, and you're going to put the legs together like this. So they're just going to go together, and you're going to need to finesse the hips a little bit so that everything lines up. Maybe. There we go. There we go. And see that they will stick together, just like one big block. You're going to flip the waist around like that. You're going to take the arms and flip the fists into the forearms, just like that. And then you can take, there's a little nub right here, and that goes into this little rectangular hole right there. And that just kind of holds everything in place. And now you have the chest here. You saw that I flipped that forward. Well, it has another little piece that rotates out here, and that is going to catch on the front. There's these little grooves right there, so you're just going to get everything to kind of bite into that, and now you've got that. Now that's not done. I mean, that's kind of the base of the alt mode, but we go a little bit further. We take the gun, and I think that in the instructions they have you put it this way. It can go either way, really, but what you can do is you can just sort of align it with one of these little holes in the tip of the feet and start bringing these together, and you're going to sandwich the gun in between the feet and just press them together. And so, you know, that goes like that. And then you take the this shield piece, and you're going to put it right there. And now you've got a kind of a Cybertronian, kind of a sky sled or something, you know. Oh, and then you have this, and this can go, you know, this little piece can go right back here on this. And so it looks like he's got sort of a turbine there, and then this is his vehicle mode. And you know what? I'm completely okay with that. It's a little bit of a Cybertronian what the hell, but it works.
The Soundwave Cybertronian mode was a bit of a what the heck too.
Oh, it absolutely was.
And this is the exact same line
and
that
Cybertron
Soundwave.
And you know, I never use Cybertron Siege. It's not Cybertron. That's a way different line. But Siege Soundwave. Siege Soundwave. I never use his actual vehicle mode. I actually pull the arms off and I turn him into a likeness of a tape deck. And I'm kind of looking forward to getting the new one because I know that it's just a slight retool of the other one that's made to turn into a tape deck. So since I was already trying to turn it into a tape deck...
My biggest criticism of that I have seen...
So this is my Seige Soundwave, and I see it as being kind of a maybe even a communication station, something. It's got an antenna. Maybe this is a view screen. I imagine that there maybe would be lights here or something, or maybe those are speakers. But that is how I've got my Soundwave, and now in this configuration I still have the arms attached. I have done tape deck modes where I just click the arms off and kind of made it look a little bit more Gen 1 here. So
my complaint about...
I was just trying to control my computer by grabbing this, thinking it's my mouse. This is not my mouse.
No, that is
Destroyer.
That is Requiem for a Blaster right there.
That was good. That was good. Okay, you know what? Requiem for a Blaster. There we go. You don't have any stuff. So
well, I guess we'll just use this instead
okay.
Right now. But the one criticism I will make about the Earthrise Soundwave is the fact that in tape deck mode, you can see through his crotch.
Huh.
There are bits, because there was a guy reviewing it, and he's holding it, and he's gushing about it, and I'm like going, you've got a white background, and I see bits that is the background through Soundwave. He doesn't tighten up.
Oh, that's a shame.
Unless the guy transformed him horribly and did not notice, it didn't look like it smashes. And I'm thinking, since it's based off this geometry, it doesn't smash together as tight as it needs. I mean, it does a decent job. I just feel that they could have done better.
Well, once I have it, then
we'll look
I'll
at
do
it
an
more in
unboxing, and if I have to cut into him to make him work,
well,
I will perform unnecessary surgery on my toys. So
and their guns.
That sometimes happens. And I feel a little bit bad about it.
This is what happens when you trust Clay with your toys.
I didn't know that it was one of your guns. It was in my parts bin. I don't know how it ended up in my parts bin. Normally the stuff that came with my parts bin was the stuff that I got from Joe. One of our friends had a lot of toys that were in not such a great state of repair.
Well, you've had the discussion. We've had the discussion about Soundwave or Shockwave before.
Yes.
Shockwave.
That was quite something.
And when while you're transforming that one, so one thing I liked about in the package of this, they show the camera mode in the package, and it says all you have to do is buy 3. So not only did they do what you've been telling them to do, they straight up
told us to do it.
Like, look, you get 3, you can do with it, which is kind of obvious when you look at some of the bits that this is 1/3. That's 1/3 of the
right.
Thing.
But you know what? I respect what they did.
Oh, I respect the hell out of that. I think that it's awesome that it has a mode that you don't need to have 3. And it turns out, of course, with the Netflix original series line, of course, they decided to release this guy as Scrapface, a repaint. And everyone goes, why Scrapface? But they did a repaint of it. It's Scrapface, and he was hard to find. And if you wanted the cardboard Teletran one, you needed to buy him to get the cardboard insert.
Here's the thing. I'm as much as I appreciate the cardboard backdrops that they have. I mean, they're really cool looking, and they're great for photography and stuff like that. But a cardboard Teletran 1, I can make that myself. I could print out pictures of Teletran 1. I could spray mount them down onto cardboard. I could even design it on, you know, using drawing software and make something really, really cool that isn't just two-dimensional. So you know, I don't see a cardboard Teletran 1 as being reason enough to buy another one or two or three of something that I already bought 3 of. So that's just...
And there is still yet more on the story of these guys.
Right, because they haven't come out with the other version, have they?
Oh, it was already released.
Oh, okay.
It came out before Scrapface did.
Okay, well, I thought it was still on, like, I saw a pre-order for it that said...
I thought it already came out, because I remember...
So, let's see, Monica says she was just... Oh, okay. Kyoji says that he was just looking at a picture of Earthrise Soundwave on the TF Wiki, and there's a piece that folds out to cover up his crotch in his alt mode.
Then the guy must not have... I mean, because like I said, when he's holding it, like, it wasn't obvious to me until he's holding it on camera, and then I'm like going, look, I see through it. But, you know, I says it was somebody doing, you know, and he probably follows instructions like you do, which is, you know...
Not at all.
Yeah. So he might have missed that.
It's possible that his channel just isn't quite as good as this one.
I don't want to throw. I'm not throwing shade at other people's channels. I'm just saying this is what I saw, and this is what I saw of it when I see it, and this is my thoughts on it. And the big thing that I was looking, because it was kind of like, you know, like I told you about when I saw the view for Earthrise Ironhide, the complaints of.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
The color matching. Oh, I mean, overall, it's a beautiful toy. It's just some of the design choices, especially in color matching, and the fact that they heavily reused so many parts that, you know. But
yeah, and
so as we were referring, you know, I grabbed this guy because, of course, this has been reissued in Gen 1 colors as a 3-pack.
With extra camera bits. That make it look more like a real camera, which we're going to get there, but I'm going to show something else before. Right. Since I was just showing the space, you know, the alt mode, the vehicle mode, I wanted to show something else that I have done with these guys. So, of course, you know, you can turn them into this. And that's fine. What you can also do with them is let's get this to line up here somehow. There's a way to do this. I just did it the other day.
You sure each one of the arms weren't out on the guy?
Oh yeah. You know what? Yeah. There was. I remember. So.
And then
I folded the arm. So, there. I did. I think I did that.
I probably should do that on
the other side.
This side.
No. It's good. Rotate it that way. Okay. So.
You do it.
Here. All right. So here. I'm gonna take this guy, and then I've made this guy pretty much the same, except that I've put the gun at an angle. And then I've got one arm that's coming forward and bending at the elbow. And that should, let's see. Oh, here. And then with this guy, I'm going to bend both arms at the elbow. That's right. Okay, I'm remembering. I did this yesterday in preparation, and I've forgotten already. So there we go. So now I have this guy like this, and so I've got this guy like this, and I can now connect them together, shoulder to peg, just like that. And then this guy.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, that's it. So, and then this guy, I'm going to do the same thing. Shoulder to peg, shoulder to peg. And now what we have is a combined spaceship mode, which I personally think is pretty kick-ass cool. Like, you know, that looks like a thing.
It looks just as much of a thing as the other. Actually, you know, the Shockwave with his extra gunny bits from, or not Shockwave, yeah, Shockwave from Siege. Remember?
Yeah.
He has the extra Shockwave
So,
arms.
Yeah, this is his combined spaceship mode, which you know, that's just a little, that's something that you can do. But now I'm going to take them apart because what we really want to see is the camera. You know, that's what we want. And see, that's what they did, which was great. They let everybody know, hey, buy 3 of these guys and you can make the camera. And so, because I'm kind of obsessive, a little bit,
And I'm only kind of aggressive.
You're only kind of sarcastic. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to fold the windscreen back up against the chest. Set the little disc things aside because you're going to place them in places as you do stuff.
Set them aside, okay.
So no, not throw them away. Just set them aside.
Ty Guy said that it was a Cybertron Y-wing. Which,
you know what? That's yes. Thank you, Ty Guy.
Well, of course Ty Guy would know that. I mean, he's Ty Guy.
He is Ty Guy. So I need. There we go. And so you're going to rotate the arms around the back and fold at the elbows, but you're just going to fold them down like this. You're going to take the legs and you're going to rotate them around. You're going to take those landing pieces and just flip them up, leaving these spaces open. And you can have the feet like that. And then you can put the legs together. And now the legs are going to completely cover the arms. Don't put my toys in your mouth. So there we go. And so that turns him into a little box. That's important. And then we're going to do the same thing here. So we fold up the chest piece. We fold in the fists. We take them around the back and flip the elbows up like that. Just like that. We're going to take the little landing gear pieces and have them sticking out, you know, so that they kind of stick out the back of the leg. We're going to put the legs together, flip the feet down forward like that. So we've got it just like that, and then we're going to close everything right around that, just like that. And now we have 2 boxes, and it's not fair. You know, Don drives for 2 hours to be here for these, and he doesn't get to practice with these ahead of time. So,
honestly, the thrill of transforming them just isn't the same between us anymore. I mean, you really still enjoy the crap out of it. I mostly just want to go, okay, show me a cool robot, show me a cool whatever it turns into, and then we critique it. And other than that,
you're not in it for the experience.
No.
And so we've got 3 little boxes, and now what we can do is, okay, so we have them facing different directions. We have this one facing forward, this one facing forward, and then this one we're going to turn this way. And you've got this little peg on the hip, and this little hole on the leg, and those are going to match up. And then these little indentations in the feet and in the shoulders are also going to mesh up. And that's going to allow these things to click together like that. And then we're going to take another one, and we're going to turn it around, and we're going to do the same thing. if everything lines up. There we go. Okay, so now we've got them all stuck together. And now we take the shield pieces.
Which I really like what they did with the shield.
This is brilliant.
They are.
This is brilliant. You know, okay. Everybody, take a moment to step away from your screens. I need to talk to the engineers at Hasbro. Okay, just for a moment.
And I think it extends not only to the shield pieces, but since he's talking to the engineers, we're also going to talk. The guns are also part of this too.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Okay, engineers, making these shields so that they do this, and making these guns so that they do this. Oh, wait, here. I have to have them facing the right way. Wait, here. Let me put that down. Okay, there we go. So.
You got people away from the camera.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about you got people, you know.
There we go. There we go.
You're keeping people away from the camera.
I know. But, okay, doing that to create a tripod and doing this to create a lens. Good job, guys. A toast to the engineers.
We now return to the Transformers.
So yeah, you assemble the shields to create the lens, and then that just clicks right onto the front, just like that. And then we can take one of these little discs and we can put it in the hole at the bottom. And now we can take the guns and put them here. And now you can take these things and you can put one here to make it like a camera button, and maybe have one here as an aperture adjustment, or however you want to do it. I sometimes like to flip up the feet to make like a flash. Now, it doesn't...
It's a flash! Oh! The Queen flash.
I know what you were doing.
That's wonderful. It's great music. We
Thank
just can't use it because it's copyrighted.
Well, that happened, and now we're back to this. So there's no viewfinder. You could maybe flip up the feet here to kind of make it look like it has a little bit of a viewfinder. The 3-pack has extra camera bits that make it look more authentically camera-like.
Here's a viewfinder.
There we go. So, no, that is specifically viewfinder, not a viewfinder.
Well, so there are more than one of these out there, so.
So, here's something that I started doing. I haven't finished, but I'll show you anyway. I went to the thrift store and they had some cameras in a bin for like a couple of bucks a piece, and so I smashed them. I bought a couple and I smashed them, and I got some pieces so that I can kind of add a little bit there, and I started making this piece here, and this is gonna, let's just take these things off. So this thing goes right on there like that, and then I can add that right there. And I was in the process of working on a piece to add a flash, but so that is, and then with maybe some detail painting and stuff like that. Now, and I made it so that I could press the button. It's got a little sliver of metal in there so that it actually presses. It doesn't press a lot, but it does press. And so I'm in the process of kit bashing it, and then after I get those things fitting on there, then I'm going to add some posts and things so that they can maybe combine those parts into something else, some kind of weapon or something like that. So
I guess that makes me the new leader.
No, it does not. You know what? Go away, Starscream. So that is.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention is the tripod itself. I noticed today when we were prepping for this, that looks a lot like a tripod reflector sat on in an episode of the cartoon even.
Yeah, that is how much love
These
and
guys
see, that's
put
what,
into it.
That's what I love about this, is that somebody really cared to make 3 really nice robot figures with lots of articulation and dedicated transforms that would still be able to be combined into the Gen 1 camera mode if you wanted to. If you really wanted to spend $60 to build a combiner camera, which apparently I do, that's the thing. Apparently, I'm imagining somebody pitching that in a board meeting, and people are like, who is going to buy 3 of the same toy just so that they can build a camera? Well,
a lot of them. I mean,
yes. And because I didn't have the toy version when I was growing up, I wasn't really attached to the 3 individual characters or the color schemes. So or their gun, and so I wanted to have the 3 guys that were in the show. I remember them from the show. I wanted to have the guys from the show, so I bought the same guy over and over again so that I could build a camera.
Well, I gotta admit, I wanted these guys to be this.
Yeah.
Because this is what I saw in the show. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Admittedly, they all kind of smashed together.
Right. Those guys sort of smashed together.
Well, but it was like they always, like a lot of times they folded like back to back to back.
Sure.
They were always, you could tell that the animators were given a photo reference of a toy and that it turned into a camera.
No, they were given a character sheet.
Yeah, a character sheet
with the modes, and because let's face it, on the Gen 1 cartoon, the actual transformation sequences were completely inconsistent. I remember the episode where Jazz transforms and his face just sort of slides up into the windshield, almost like it was printed on paper. I feel like that was one of those...
As opposed to Ironhide and Ratchet, whose faces
really were paper. So, yeah, let's go ahead and show this, and this is the camera mode with my little add-ons, and if I take that off, and I take this off, then this is the camera mode as it's intended by the designers, and it is pretty cool. That's the thing. It really is cool. It's not super realistic, but it is definitively a camera. There is no mistaking what they're going for, and it works really well. So that is Refractor, but we all know. And I'm just going to set him aside because I'm going to show you some guys that I just got from Big Bad Toy Store. And this is a set of 3 guys called Photron.
Photron, Defender of the Fujiverse.
Photon, Defender of the Fujiverse. Let's see if we can get him to stand up. And we'll put him back here. And so these are a third-party set of transforming robots that combine to make a camera. And these are really nice toys. I mean, they are very well built. So yeah, we can even show. So there.
Too far.
Yeah, there you go. And you can show the side panels. So, we've got different modes and different ways to do stuff.
We'll go with here are the robots.
Yep.
Oop, wrong way. And then
the names I'm not really gelling with. We've got
AE Lock.
AE Lock.
High Rezo.
And Optizoom.
Optizoom, yeah.
Optizoom Prime?
Maybe.
I,
What I think is
but-
kind of funny is, so on our note sheet, Clay's like telling me about these guys, and you'll notice one of them has.
One of them has a shield, so
So
I
he
call
referred
this
to
this
shield
is the
guy.
shield guy.
So I
and then
write-
there's this backpack guy because he's got a backpack on, and then we've got the head guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I labeled them as Nick Fury, the shield guy. Definitely not RC for the backpack guy, and I'll form the head as the center guy. And I mentioned this specifically because earlier in the chat, when they were having a discussion about the background music, the drinking music, and its appropriateness or lack of appropriateness for what we're doing, they were talking about, and Nick Fury eventually came up in the comments, and I'm like, yeah, well, actually, we got Nick Fury as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
He's the shield guy, and I mean, I could have gone with Coulson, but when you say shield guy, the first thing that heads in my mind is Nick Fury.
And you know what? He's a cool looking black guy. So he's Nick Fury. Christopher Emley says, oh wait, here, let me change views. So Christopher Remley says, so in photography at least, AE lock equals auto exposure lock. So your light levels don't change. Oh, okay. So
Well,
there we go.
I assumed
That's-
they all had appropriate photography names, but I was like, yeah, I don't know what those are,
is
and
there-
they make very horrible.
Is there a setting called high reso? I mean, I understand that
probably like
reso
high
is probably resolution,
resolution.
but is it ever abbreviated high reso? Because like I always heard something like high res or low res, but this guy is reso, like Rizzo,
RESO.
reso. So yeah, I feel like AE lock is just a bad name.
I mean, I mean, OptiZoom.
OptiZoom is serviceable.
Serviceable.
That's
but
serviceable.
Again,
It's not a great
I get
name.
that they were using it because, but I'm just like, it's.
So,
I just feel they could do better.
So the two side guys are a little smaller, and they both have very, very similar bodies and transforms, and these are fully posable guys. They've got joints at the hips, joints at the knees, fully posable feet with a little bit of a, they've got a heel. They're still a little bit unstable because their feet are so tiny. They've got elbow joints. Actually, they've got a double joint at the elbow. They've got some wrist pivoting. Their heads move around, and really good light piping. Here, let me take off the backpack, and you can really see just how well the light piping works. Now, note that even though these guys are obviously inspired by Reflector, they do not look like any of the other toys. They don't look like the cartoon incarnations. They don't look like the original micro change toys. They don't look like the Gen 1 Transformer toy. They are their own thing, but they look awesome. Like, it's sort of like if like Reflector was a bad guy, but it seems like these would be the even badder guys that roll off the assembly line, after Reflector's, like, Megatron's pissed off that Reflector screwed up again and got beat up by the Autobots. So he had these guys built, and they're like, we are the next evolution, Reflector, you are outdated. That's what these guys represent to me. Yeah, the bigger, badder, meaner version, but I will say that these guys cannot combine to make an improvised spaceship.
No, they cannot.
So,
well, not that you've found yet.
Not that I've found yet, but I was looking last night, and they like the original micro change toy. They combined to make a camera, and that's really what they do. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna start.
Ready to form Voltron.
So
Activate interlock. Dynatherms connected. Infracells.
You're gonna need to loop this. It's gonna take a
Megablasters
while.
are go. Voltron force.
And like this is back when we had the Voltron camera. We were coming to it.
Yes, yes. So this is the evolution of the Voltron camera. And I don't know if you've been tracking what I've been doing. I don't even know if you care about what I'm doing. But I'm flipping the feet into the legs. And then I'm going to... We've got...
Be attacked by your cat.
I've got a cat. We got the cat. And now he's gonna decide whether he wants to stand on you or on me and choose both of us. So, thank you, Dudley. He's given me the
Cat
one-eyed stare there. And
Standard cat greeting.
so, hello. Here, wait, let me just there he is. There he is. Yes, everybody loves you, Wesley. Everybody loves you. Oh,
Some broccoli cat?
no, he doesn't want broccoli. He wants you to scratch his chin.
With
So-
broccoli?
Oh, look at him. Look at him. Yeah, he's a sweet guy. He is a sweet guy. He just wants love. There you go. Are you going to lay down? Yeah, he's going to lay down now. All right, so there we go. I've now got Dudley on my lap, which makes things a little bit easy. Well, some things easier. It's better than when he's standing. So now we're going to take the legs and we're going to pivot them this way, just like that. And we're going to bend them at the knees, and then we're going to take the bottom half of the crotch pivots. It's on a hinge right there. And so that whole thing goes together somehow. Wait, here. Oh, okay. Here. I rotated at the waist when I shouldn't have. So it's going to go around the back of the robot body, and it's going to close up against the arms. And then we're going to just kind of snap everything together like that. And then like that. And the fists flip in. So we've got that shape, and now we can take this back panel and we can just fold it around like that. Maybe. There we go. And there. Okay, so that is a shape. That is a shape, and we've got that. Okay, and we can also take his little gun and we can put it into this backpack piece. Now, we can also take his gun, because they're the same gun. They're really tight there. Okay. And we can put that in the backpack piece, and he can wear that with the guns exposed, and then you can pivot them forward. They're a little bit loosey-goosey, so I actually prefer to let the guys hold the guns, but you can also flip them in there and contain them inside. And then we've got this guy. And he's got, this is I'll form the head guy. And you can see that he's got this whole lens assembly thing, which has an LED. So, that's... I feel like it should be brighter. It seems like it should be brighter. And you can take this and peg it in here, and then it makes... I guess that's supposed to be some kind of a weapon. What Dawn was doing earlier is doing that, which seems to make a lot more sense as a weapon, but I'm okay with it either way. I kind of wish that this piece could snap on there and kind of close that up and make it look finished. It doesn't, at least not yet. So
Don't worry. It will.
It will get there. So yeah. That is something else that you can do with this whole lens assembly. The lens assembly also splits and then can close around here, and then it just becomes a shorter lens. It really doesn't look any. It does, like, splitting it open doesn't service any other mode. It's just how you either extend it or reduce it, which personally I find that a little disappointing, because it means that you can't twist it. And as a camera lens, I want to be able to twist it to or slide it in and out rather than it just being kind of in a fixed position.
I would think sliding in and out would, especially in the gun mode I showed, would cause it to collapse a lot.
Right, sure.
But that's not how that's not how it was showed to be used anyways, but,
Sure. But I agree with you.
I'm looking on the box again. I don't think they...
So,
no, even on the box, they got the dumb little... I just think this is silly. It's like a big spotlight.
It does look more like a spotlight than it does like a weapon.
Yeah, sure, you could put
And you know what? Maybe it is a spotlight.
Maybe it is a spotlight.
Like, I'm always saying that they need more accessories that aren't necessarily guns. So Christopher Remley says, I saw the markings on the lens that said EF, which is specifically a Canon DSLR mount, LOL, hence Decepticons choose Canon. You know what?
Well,
of course Decepticons choose Canon. So,
yeah. I think you may need to refill this after that one.
I'll tell you what. If Megatron didn't choose Canon, Galvatron did. So...
Is that bad comedy?
This is bad comedy.
Do that when they got your wife away from the
So, okay, this guy transforms pretty much exactly the same as the other one. We're going to collapse the arms, flip in the wrists, and just have them down at the side. We can pull this panel up away from his back. We can close the heel on the feet, turn the feet around. You have to turn the feet around and then flip them up inside the leg. And then he's also going to split at the crotch, that little hinge point right there. And then we're going to rotate the legs so that the knees face inwards. We're going to bend at the knees so that it kind of forms an M. And then we're going to fold the whole thing up and just meet the arms with the legs. Just snap them together, and then we fold this panel around. And you're going to have to kind of loosen things up to get them to engage. There's some little teeth things in there, and it's really hard to get them to line up while holding it in front of the camera, so I'm just going to selfishly look at it here and then show you the finished result. And so that's a shape. We now have another shape. So we have two shapes, and no, they aren't going to connect together.
I know they're not going to connect together. I know what the little dangly bits are for. And I gotta admit, what they're for, I think, is a really good feature for this thing.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. So here, look, we haven't really looked at high resa or OptiZoom. So let's look at OptiZoom, and
I've just gone and undone everything.
Don't undo it, please.
So there we go. Okay, I fixed it. I the head wasn't in quite right, and I got it actually in.
So this is OptiZoom. OptiZoom looks great. I love his colors. I love the design of him. He is just a really good-looking robot. I love this window on the chest. I love all the details. It's just a really, really neat robot. And he's got a lot of weight to him. His joints are nice and tight. He also has very effective light piping, which, here, yeah, you can see it when you don't have this little panel up. So you can see his eyes, and Let me put that into focus. So, yeah, there we go. And once again, very, very distinctly different than the characters that he's inspired by. But I think that that's okay. I feel like there is room in the Transformers universe and in my imagination for another set of camera bots. You know, these guys don't have to be Reflector. They can be anybody that you want them to be. And if they are Photron, then they are Photron. And I'm okay with that. So we've got Optizoom. He has a little pistol. You know, he's got a little gun here. And, you know, he can hold it in his hand. He also has that little 5mm hole in the... at least I assume it's a 5mm hole. It seems to be the same size as other Transformer things. So, you know, let's see.
Nope, not
well,
that one.
that's not a 5mm. Wait, here, this one. Here, we'll do Reflector, like little Reflector. And, yeah, it's 5mm. So they are compatible. Now, he's got a bit of a different transform. And so we're going to try and do this right. The feet flip down, and then they're going to flip this way. And I'm going to do that again. So the foot flips down here. It comes off. I'm going to snap it back on. There we go. So let's try that again without pieces falling off. He's going to go like that. Nope, that piece is just going to come off. You know, I was doing so good. And then, then it's going to fold this way.
The video camera, when he was transforming it before the live stream, just kept falling apart. I thought it would be in pieces by the time he was done. So this one surprises me.
We're also going to rotate the lower leg so that it lines up with the detail on the knee. And we're going to do that. So you can kind of see what's happening with the legs here. And then we're going to... Now this is where the clearance is really, really tight. Get the arms up out of the way and kind of angle the wing things out, because you got to rotate the waist. And it really wants to catch on the little teeth on this wing. There we go. So now we have the legs like that. We're going to put everything together just like that. And now we've got the arm here. So actually, well, yeah, let's do the arm. So we've got the arm, and it's got this piece here. Well, it's on this double hinge just right there. And so we're going to rotate the double hinge so that it's sticking this piece out as far as it'll go. And now what you can do is you can take this gun, and it's got this little piece right here that's going to fit into this little hole right there. Not well. It doesn't, you know, it seems like it almost pinches a little bit, but you can get it to go in there like that. And then you do that, okay, and now it's going to hold it just like that. And now you rotate the forearm so that this is like that. Now you're going to take the other arm, and it's going to go up like this. And then this is going to wrap around here. Oh, wait, one thing that I'm almost forgetting is flip the head down. Just flip the head down like that. And now you can do that with the arm. You're just bending at the elbow and creating this little shape here that goes on the top like that. And now you can take this little back panel and line that up just like that. And now we're going to take the legs and bring them forward, and now that arm is going to meet up with the feet, and this whole side shape here is going to snap into this panel here. and it actually goes together a lot easier than you would think. You know, it seems like you should have to fight with it, but it actually goes together pretty well. And that kind of makes a nice consistent shape here. And now we're going to take those wing things. We're going to fold a panel out from this side and fold the panel out from this side. We're going to fold the wings out like that. And then we're going to get the teeth all to mesh together, and we're going to put them together and press in towards the body of the robot. And that's just going to press it flat against the back. And now we're going to bring this panel, and it's got some little teeth here and some little holes here, and they just kind of go together like that. So we now have the center section of the camera. And so at this point, thank you. Thank you for that, Submariner. So now we have this little panel.
Thank you, Submariner.
Thank you, Submariner. So the shield, when it attached on robot mode, you can see this recess here. It just attached right over that knob. And that was really cool. Well, you're going to take that off, and that is going to cover up the front of the robot chest. And now, so there's this hole right here. You can see it. And then there's this peg here. It's one of the buttons. So you're going to stick that peg right into that hole. And then you're going to close this and just snap it in. And it fits like that. And now this guy, you have that backpack piece, and that is also going to fit right there. Now, it doesn't hold very well, but once you take this and you see these little hook things here, you're going to hook into these slots right here. In fact, it might be easier to put this piece on the camera first and then take his body, this third guy, and snap him into place. What was that? Oh, and Ty Guy says, wow, this looks like it is coming together a lot nicer than I would have expected from an unlicensed copy. And yeah, this is a really, really impressive thing. And then it even comes with a strap. So let's take the strap, and it's just a real strap. You know, it's not it's not even a toy or they just included a real strap. So you click that in just like that. And now we take our lens piece and we can attach it right to the front here. And that is the camera. It's uncanny how nice this camera looks. It's amazing. Let me put it on the side camera. So look at that. That's just kind of phenomenal. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take that little thing there, and I'm going to put it. So, yeah, look at that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that what they must have done is taken the engineering from an actual. You know that the microphone is picking you up, right? Oh, no. So, does Refractor's stand fit on this guy? Let's find out. So, let's. You know what? No, that's not a 5mm
I was gonna say,
peg.
I didn't think it had a 5mm peg underneath.
So, yeah. Now, I might be able to put a thread that for a standard camera tripod, but unfortunately Refractor's does not fit. So we'll put Refractor right there, and we'll put this guy on there. I do kind of think that they took the engineering from a real camera, and then they used that for the outside parts and the shell of this thing, because it is very obvious that this is, somebody didn't just make this up. This is from a real product. And
actually, as you're mentioning that, since you're talking about that, let's see, where was it? Crap. Because Ty Guy mentioned that it looks like his dad's old Nikon, and somebody else mentioned, where is it in there? My eyes are so bloody old. Oh, there's really looks like the Panasonic Lumix from Christopher Remley. And yeah, it could be either one of those. I mean, because I don't know my camera's worth a damn.
I'm afraid I do not either.
And I'm sure that kind of branding they wouldn't put on there because, well,
So, of course, you can extend the lens, and it looks awesome. My only criticisms, they've got so much cool stuff that's going on here. It's such a fantastic transform. It's convincing. It feels great. It looks great. But because of the way that they made the lens split in order to extend, I can't rotate this. It fits on with these two little nubs, so this doesn't twist at all. I wish that I could twist it, and I wish that I could slide this in and out, and it doesn't have a viewfinder. We've seen how the original Reflector and the Select Converters and even those Real Gear Transformers, they all had, to some degree or another, working viewfinders that you could really look through. That's really cool. I mean, that's important, and I feel like there's things that they maybe could have done to incorporate at least some of these features. The other thing that would have been really easy, a button that I could press. Give me a pressable button. I understand there's a million buttons on this. I don't expect them to make them all able to press. But this guy, he clicks. It's really satisfying that he clicks. I just want to click him,
And in the piece you made, you created a clickable button in a much smaller cavity that made an audible click than I would have thought. I mean, just looking at it is, that's not, you don't have the space for that.
And so...
But I'm not a materials guy, so...
So, while this is, it is an amazing transforming robot toy. The transform is impressive. It actually goes together really, really well. It's much simpler than I would have expected for such a detailed alt mode. And it really does just kind of fit together. That's the nice thing. Those little things would have just pushed it over the top. So Ty Guy seems to think it's a Lumix from looking at it. So yeah, this is, it looks a lot like a Lumix. There's a little bit, that's not this, but that's still different. Maybe it's a different model Lumix. Does the TFC in the front mean anything?
That's the people who make it, I believe. Or it has something to do with it, I thought. It's just this TFC Photron.
Oh, okay, so TFC Photron. So that is their thing. Well, whatever the case.
It looks remarkably similar to the photo that we could see, but you didn't bring it up on the screen for them, did you?
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
I can't. But nonetheless, whatever the case, a few of those things would have taken a toy that is really close to amazing and make it amazing. It's still, it is still amazing, but it would have been like super duper amazing. So let's go ahead and we will, we'll just kind of our cameras on display here. Let me put that right there, and we'll get that out of the way, and we'll put, we'll put that there, and this guy here, and we'll put another guy. I know you can't see what I'm doing. We've got 45 minutes. How would you like a special guest toy? I would love a special guest toy.
I could give or take a spit. No, I'm just.
So. Oh, and of course, we've got that. And so let's just kind of look at all of these guys together. You know what? That's a little bit too high up. Let's do this. Well, okay. I guess I have to use this thing.
See,
Wasn't going to.
Brought a gift, and it even came in handy.
So we've got a nice collection of cameras here, and I feel like, especially between Photron and Refractor, there would absolutely be a rivalry, and I could see them like giving each other guff in the Decepticon lunch line, and then they're like they're throwing attitude. And then it's like, all right, that's it. And then they all of their teammates transform and combine, and then they just kind of face each other and click at each other, and then probably they'd all feel silly and leave. Oh, you want to talk about another third-party Transformer? Here we go. And
the box is right behind you.
Okay, I'm not going to risk getting that off the shelf. There is no way. So let's go ahead
I can if
and
you want.
it's just the Punisher. So all right, let me put my cameras. Move some cameras out of the way so that you guys can see what we're talking about, because this does kind of go along with the theme. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on. Oh no, the I guess the LED is burnt out, or not burnt out, but the batteries are dead. It's just a button cell in there. So all right, This is another third-party toy that Monica got for me, and it is pretty damn impressive.
It is Quakewave.
Quakewave is a third-party Shockwave-inspired transforming robot toy. He is absolutely phenomenal. He is tremendously well built. These are cast metal here and here, and I feel like there's definitely more metal in there. Now the legs are plastic, but it's also very heavy.
It specifically says on the box, "Have die-cast part."
So that's
I love that wording.
Have die-cast part. Bushman Brown is here. Oh, hey, Bushman Brown. A toast to Bushman Brown. And see, this is where, so for a while there, before, really it was right before Combiner Wars, I'm going to admit something. I was kind of losing my interest in Transformers toys. The movie stuff was not capturing my imagination, partially because I didn't like the movies, and partially because I just didn't like the designs. I didn't like the kind of spaghetti-faced, jaggedy look. It's just not my jam, man. And I have to say that third-party Transformer toys really started to become very, very interesting to me. And the downside is the price points are pretty high. And I just don't have the budget to get a lot of these things when you can pay 3 digits easy for any number of these things.
Most of them are the 3-digit range, and some of them are,
like that first digit is not a 1. So
we're starting to approach the almost halfway to 4-digit. I mean, there are very few. I mean, I think the Unicron one is the only one I can think of off the top of my head, third party, that is over halfway.
If I got the original Green Giant, each member was like an $80 toy. Yeah. And then you have to buy 6 of them. That's an investment.
Yeah.
Or the original, let's see, what was the other Devastator knockoff? There was Green Giant and Hercules. And, both of these, amazing designs.
Oh.
And if I had, this is where if I were just independently wealthy.
If you had an extra house payment.
Right. Then
I look at that and I go, yeah, that's a house payment.
Right. Then absolutely. And see, the thing is, when I see such love and care going into these toys, then I want to support these people who are putting all of this fantastic work and fantastic. His LED came on. So let's just go ahead and while I'm talking about how awesome this guy is.
You have to turn the lights off.
Oh, well, there you go. You can see it. It's on.
Yeah.
So he's got his LED there, and then he's got another LED in the, and here, let's see. Yeah, you can see that it's on there. So, and we're going to do it. We're going to get enough lights turned off.
And the studio goes darkish.
So there he is. So yeah. All right. So that's him with his LEDs on, and that's actually really cool that they did that. Now, I the one that's in the head, I want to say that I did something there. Didn't I do something there? I don't remember. Maybe I didn't. But there we go. So you can see that he is beautifully articulated. Even the fingers. I mean, this is masterpiece quality right here. And didn't it take a really weird battery and you made it something more easy to find? Maybe something like that. I don't remember. I don't remember all the stuff that I do to my toys. So, which I know is bad, but I don't always remember. He's got joints on joints, and they click, and he's heavy, and he's posable, and he looks fantastic. The engineering on this is beautiful. The cable design here. The cable is just, I love the way that it was designed. I love everything about how it looks. I love the translucent hand with the articulated fingers. I mean, just a really, really neat toy. And oh, by the way, he also transforms. So, I'm going to show you the transform on him. And, oh, do we want to show the... So, okay. Let's just, for comparison's sake. So, everybody remembers Happy Shack.
Oh wow. Oh my gosh.
This is Happy Shack. Shackwave.
I'm just looking at the travesty that is.
And this is what's left of...
I mean, now admittedly, he doesn't have the problem Happy Shack.
He is unhappy Shack. So, this is Shackwave, and he's feeling really good about life.
I think he's made up for this guy who.
So this is what's left of the parts of my original Shockwave that originally Joe had, and then you had, and then I had. I once tried to fix it for Joe after it was smashed into many pieces, and then you had put it back together.
Well, what was funny.
And then
the robots from Black Hole that did one, and then the
yes,
yeah. Although when I originally put him back together, the chest plate was not part of the assemblage. It was not. I mean, I had it, but I still had not come up with a way to attach it. So I had basically a white plate on the front that was attached that came from an old space shuttle.
I remember that.
I cut the crap out of it to fit it on the front just so he had some kind of chest. And he's just
and when that's the state of your Shockwave, all of a sudden Action Master Shockwave doesn't look quite so bad.
I mean, you can see how much you had to redo to get the leg bolts back on there. I mean,
right. This is actually a pen, a piece of pen that's holding his legs on. And then, of course, he was never going to be back to original shape. So when I got a Shockwave that was in mostly good condition, I swapped out the good metal parts, the die-cast parts from Shockwave, and put them onto Shockwave. But of course, Shockwave gets to keep his manhood. And yes, that's... So anyway, that's just for reference. Let's go ahead and I'm going to see if I could... So Kyoji says that Shockwave belongs in the dead end with the MDs. It really does. It is sad, but you know what? I will never get rid of him, and who knows? Maybe at some point I'll do a massive reconstruction effort to bring him back, and
I'm just having visions of him floating through space to the music from the movie where they're about to meet Unicron.
Yes,
because he can't say I still function because he doesn't.
He really doesn't.
He doesn't function anymore.
Okay, so I'm gonna fold the thumb down and close the fingers so that he's just got kind of a rectangular fist going on there, and then I'm going to this backpack thing. This is interesting. It does weird stuff. I'm going to set it aside here for just a moment. What's nice is that you can take that off and he still works. And that's going to become the barrel of the gun in just a little bit. But I'm setting it aside for now. So we're going to open up the chest. I know that the chest opens. Oh, okay. I remember. So here we go. The chest has these side pieces that clip on, and then now we can open up the chest, and I can fold the head down into the chest. I think that I'm going to have to spin it around. So have him spin around his head, and then no. I don't remember. Okay, there we go, and there's a right way to do this, and with a guy like him, if you don't remember what the right way is, then you're going to do it wrong. And let me go ahead and turn off the LED, because the LED isn't going to do much when it's inside the chest. Thank you, Dudley. And I'm going to rotate that around. That might give me a little bit more room to work with. The ears are in the way, but I don't think that they pivot. No, they don't pivot. No, we're not looking at the instructions.
I'm looking at the instructions.
So, the head goes in here somehow. It goes in, and...
Interesting.
What does it say?
It's just supposed to fold in.
It's just supposed to...
It
Okay, there we
just
go.
opens and it just folds in.
Okay, I got it. The ears kept catching, so... Okay, so now we close the chest back up and close those things. And now we're going to rotate the arms around. And just like the original Gen 1 Shockwave, you're going to have the shoulders go up over where the head used to be. And then there's this little rectangular shape right here. And then this little slot here. And those are going to go together. Yeah? Do you not approve? Poor kitty.
You need your veggies, kitty. Have some broccoli.
And so now we've got the lower part of the body, and it's got this piece right here, which has a viewfinder right there. And we're going to take the legs. Now, see, the legs, this is where they got really creative. So, the handle portion collapses against the side of the leg. And we got to get that. Let's go ahead and flip in the feet, since I feel good about that. So, I'm flipping in the feet, and they can do that. And now, there we go. You pull the handle from the side, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side here. And I've got a cat again, so thank you. Can I have this? No? I can pet it. Yeah, I can pet you with my whole arm.
Bushman Brown is heading out for the night.
Oh, Bushman Brown! Have a great evening. Thank you for joining us, Bushman Brown. So, now we pull that out. And now these are going to actually, it's going to pivot like this and go like that. Okay, so here, I'll show you from this side. And then it's going to pivot out like that. And then go like that. And now the legs are going to rotate at the knees like that. And now the feet can just kind of collapse there. And we're going to, let's see, the legs are going to collapse into the lower legs. So let's go ahead and just do that like that here. It's easier to do them one at a time. Oh, ow.
And pinch your hand.
And pinch my fingers. There we go. And now we can put these together and get them to click forward, and the little knee detail is going to go up into this hip detail here. There we go. There we go. Just like that. And now we put, let's see. Oh, okay. I see. It is fidgety. So there we go, and there. Now we do the same thing over here, and then there's this little panel inside the handle right there. And so when we get both sides to line up just right to where they can actually go together, which is tricky. There. And there. Why is that not going together? It's just not going around that piece. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so what I was doing wrong. I was doing something wrong. You have to rotate the thigh. Rotate it at the thigh rather than at the knee. And that brings everything together close enough. And now you can put the handle together, get everything together, pull out these side flaps, get it to collapse, and it'll go. Now you can take this and point it up. Now you can take these little things, which is a pair of them, but they go together, and they engage with a couple of little slots on the body. And that is, oh, and then we just close those side panels. And that is our space gun mode. Oh, wait. Well, of course. Now there's this piece that came off the back. We're going to fold up that little lens and then wrap this whole thing around here. The front, okay, the front does something kind of cool. So this part actually slides a little bit towards the middle. And it doesn't, see, here's the thing. It doesn't really seem to slide far enough. And this is something that I've noticed about this from the beginning, because ideally it should be in the middle, and it just doesn't quite go into the middle. You know, I don't know if this is supposed to... Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Here. Okay, the fist folds in like that. And so now the arms can go together. And now this kind of goes to the middle. And it sort of looks like that gun that Megatron tried to use to kill Optimus Prime in the movie. But if you notice, it still doesn't quite go all the way to the middle. And I think that at some point I did actually modify it a little bit so that it would cross over a little bit more. And so what you're going to do is there's a little tab at the bottom here, there's a little slot here, and then there's this curved recess in this piece. So that little gun barrel is going to rest on there, and the little rectangular bit is going to line up with that. And you know what? It might go from the top. Let's go from the top.
I just figured I'd wait till
there. And so there we go, right there. And then we wrap the whole thing around. And the lens is a little bit fidgety. There we go. And then in an ideal universe, that all closes around that and holds securely. And now you have Quake Wave in his gun mode.
And I like, you know, when... Oh, I thought this actually formed a trigger.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Because I thought, you know, because he had that hanging out, and I thought, you got this trigger without it being where it currently is.
Yes. Now, I have one criticism of this design. Okay, you know what? There's two criticisms. This whole assembly at the front is really, really fidgety. And it's hard to get it to stay on, and it's hard to get it, you know, like everything else is super robust and goes right where it needs to go. And even if you have to fight it a little bit, if you have everything turned right, then it goes. this bit, it seems like somebody had a really clever idea that could have been done a lot simpler. And so, you know, that hurts it a little bit. You can turn on the thing, and then you have a light inside there, which is cool. But the biggest criticism that I have, one of the only criticisms, is this gun will not stand up. I have spent hours trying to find a way to transform it so that it looks intentional and it stands up on its own feet. And original Shockwave, you have to fold down the ears.
That wasn't what I was sticking on, but
there you go.
yeah, I thought I'd try to get it real quick to make the point, but I'll break it.
Okay, here, you hold that.
So while we're transforming him, I thought so Joy Thayer had pointed out to Monica that you know, she would love to play Axis and Allies, and is this the Zombie Edition? And why, yes, it is the Zombie Edition. I actually purchased this edition as a gift for Monica because I saw this originally in a store, and I at first thought, my first initial reaction was, really? We've got to put zombies. But then I looked over it a little more. I eventually purchased it. I played it, and I went, oh, this is awesome. This is so much fun. It adds fun and, in many ways, comedy to Axis and Allies. And the production value, like, someday I'd like for Clay to be able to do a live stream about specifically this game.
Okay, so...
But we'll come back to that now that you've got it.
So, this is... now, of course, the proper way to transform it is to fold the feet in, and that makes the handle. And it can almost stand up like that, but all you have to do is flip the feet out. And now, let me show this on the side camera. Look at that. He just holds himself up. He looks great. This guy can't do it. He just can't do it. And there is no way to transform it that doesn't look like dog poo that he holds himself up. You know, that there are ways. Yeah, I've done things where I like had the legs under here and then had the handle sticking out the back. It looks bad.
Like dog poo. So you can do the little circle coney thing, because we tried to do that with the multi-transformer Megatron, but we couldn't ever come up with turd mode.
Here we go. Yeah, there. Now. So, this is an amazing toy. And it's well built, well designed. It looks great on a shelf. It's got the light up bits. I mean, honestly, it's a fantastic thing. But, oh, come on, guys. You know, you're just so close. Well, they're so close, and I want to put him. I want to display him like this, and I don't want to have to build a special stand for him. I just, it's so close.
And that's actually something that Christopher Remley had pointed out in the chat that you hadn't read, is that basically you'd have to have a molded stand for him or something.
Yes.
And something I was thinking about while you're transforming him that I think that people could have done that they never have done is, so you've got the bit that comes off, right? And you hate extra bits that come off if they're not necessary, right?
You know,
well, here's what I'm thinking is, you could take these pieces, because they already fold, right? And basically become arm guards.
Absolutely.
Nobody has ever done that.
There was actually there was a concept drawing during the Dreamwave comics for a War Within version of Shockwave that transformed exactly like you just described. And they showed the sketches for it, but they didn't end up using the design in the comic book. It was one of those things shown at
I was like, that's...
It's so obvious and so simple.
That you get rid of the extra bit that folds off.
It's exactly this mechanism.
That mechanism.
That would just go around the arms, and then you don't have that big extra piece. And
I mean, the only thing you're going to have to maybe do is have an extra piece that folds out for this here. But in how many pieces this thing exists in?
You know what? You
and
could just
molded
notch
stuff.
it.
Well, you could just notch it.
You could just notch it.
But the point being is, you're not making anything that I would say is any more expensive to construct overall.
I would say it'd be simpler because this has a lot of pieces in it.
Yeah, you would think it would need less pieces. You know, it might end up being a touch shorter because it'd be the length of the arms.
Right.
But if it folds,
well, you know what? If it covered the elbow joint as well, then it absolutely.
Well, you wouldn't want it to cover the elbow joint because it's in robot mode, and you want him to be able to twist his elbows.
What you do is you have the sides long enough to cover the elbow joint, but have the top leave enough room.
Yeah. Okay.
See?
That's why he's the industrial designer.
That's why I'm an industrial designer, and I'm an industrial designer because I love Transformers toys. So they kind of full circle. So yeah, and to clarify, I don't hate extra pieces, but if a toy doesn't need extra pieces, I prefer it more without, and the extra pieces should do stuff. Like that's my biggest criticism of original Shockwave is that when you transform it into robot mode, this has never done anything. It's just a big extra piece that doesn't go anywhere on the robot mode. And a lot of times I'll just leave it, covering this thing, but really that's my pet peeve.
Well,
when they have big important parts.
They did do something where this does something else in the robot mode. You've got a way to store it. Which,
yes.
yeah, I mean, it's an upgrade, but it's just something that I'm like, I am surprised nobody's really touched on that, where you could just
not have the extra piece. And so, anyway, that is third-party robot transforming toys that are really, really cool. So, we've got Quakewave, we've got Photron, Defender of the Fujiverse, we've got Hasbro finally taking my advice and exploiting the fact that suckers like me will buy the same toy over and over again if you give me the opportunity to. So, Hasbro, concept proven. Do it again. I want sweeps as combiner limbs to go on Cyclonus. And I want Seekers to combine with Starscream. Okay? Gen 1 Seekers. They can be repaints of the aerial bots. So, alright. So, we got our cameras. We got everything. I think that we have done this. It is Friday night. We are heading into the weekend. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Machiavellic. Thank you, Koji. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Collini. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Michael Spicer. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Tim Kangaroo and Ty Guy and Chris Remley and Cheeky Boy and Hope and Mason Fur and Bushman Brown. You guys are the best. And I say that every week, but I'm always right. Thank you for joining me. You guys make these live streams worth having, and you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week. What are we doing next week? Do we even know? Oh, yes.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. So next Friday is Friday the 13th. We are doing Friday the 13th toys. So it will be deadly or something. I don't know.
I vote for something.
It's gonna be something. So, you guys, have a wonderful weekend. We will see you next week.